Good evening, everyone. My name is Russ Gannum, and I am Associate Provost and Dean of International Programs here at the University of Iowa. And it's my pleasure here to welcome you to tonight's Lunar New Year festivities. For several years, International Programs has organized activities around the Lunar New Year to recognize the ways in which cultures around the world anticipate the coming of spring and celebrate renewal. Traditionally, most of our events have revolved around food, recipe sharing, and the historical and cultural context around these practices. While this year's event will certainly feature various holiday cuisine, the focus is a bit different in that we've invited University of Iowa faculty, staff, and students to share their experiences and traditions in a variety of formats. Tonight's program will include a panel discussion, video montages, and student testimonials, all of which will conclude in our customary toast to ring in the year of the snake. Those born in this year show the following characteristics: wisdom, charm, intuition, and determination, while showing care for others and conducting themselves with a sense of mystery. People with this sign are multi-layered individuals who comport themselves with nuance and depth. Before we move forward with our activities, please let me thank Cynthia Chow and Dongwang Liu, the executive and associate directors, respectively, of our Center for Asian and Pacific Studies for their leadership in holding this event. Likewise, I would like to thank each of our presenters who took the time, whether in person or virtually, to be here tonight. Warm thanks also go to our staff and international programs, especially Daniel Warwick, Kate Murphy, and Amy Green, for all their logistical help and troubleshooting. And last, please let me thank you, the audience, for tuning in and for spending your evening with us. And with that, please allow me to pass the microphone to our friend and colleague, Cynthia Chow, for her opening remarks. So Cynthia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Russ. Well, welcome everyone, and good evening or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. And my name is Cynthia Chow, and I'm the director for the Center for Asian and Pacific Studies at the University of Iowa. Well, thank you so much for being here with us to celebrate the joint Chinese, Korean, Southeast Asian Lunar New Year celebration. The Lunar New Year is also known as the Spring Festival. Hence, although the Japanese have adopted the Gregorian calendar, they are joining us to celebrate the coming of spring too. The Lunar New Year is a 15-day celebration that begins on the second new moon after the winter solstice. And the year is marked by a Chinese zodiac, which has 12 animals, each with its own personality and fortune. And 2025 is the year of the wood snake, which symbolizes a time of personal growth, transformation, and new opportunities. And more than 2 billion people around the world, or about 1/4 of the world's population, have been celebrating to usher in the year of the snake. The Lunar New Year, which is celebrated with much symbolism of unity, brings friends and family together for feasting and festivities. And although we have just passed the 15th day of ushering in the new year, today's webinar celebration embodies this spirit of togetherness. And collaborating with the Center for Asian and Pacific Studies and International Programs are our colleagues, students, and alumni from departments and units across the University of Iowa. From those in the Department of Asian and Slavic Languages and Literatures to those in the Rehabilitation Counseling Program, and from those in anthropology to those in the Departments of Medicine and the University of Iowa Hospital and Clinics. Today's program comprises 5 segments. And as you watch this program, please post your questions in the chat function. We hope to be able to answer some of your questions, but we can't promise to answer all. Following our welcoming messages would then be segment 2, which opens with a screening of 2 videos which share the joy of how this year's Lunar New Year was celebrated in different parts of the world. Professor Emeritus of Surgery Sonia Suk shares her feast in Iowa with us, and alumni of anthropology Rachel Lee brings us with her to enjoy the festivities in Singapore. After the screening of these videos, Russ Ganem opens a live discussion with Professor Suk, alumni Rachel, and Clinical Associate Professor of Internal Medicine Claudia Corwin, and graduate student in the Rehabilitation Counseling Program and teaching assistant in anthropology Ming Dong about what Lunar New Year means to them. And then in segment 3 comes greetings from our students. Following that would then be in segment 4, where we invite you to a screening of traditions to usher in the new year. This is then followed by a live discussion with our experts in dumpling making, who hail from the Department of Asian and Slavic Languages and Literatures. Well, more about them when we move into segment 4 of today's program. So without much ado, let's begin our celebration with Sonia's feast and Rachel's festivities in Singapore.
Hi everybody, my name is Rachel Lee, wishing everybody a prosperous Lunar New Year. Here's a look into how my family celebrates the Lunar New Year in Singapore. During Lunar New Year in Singapore, my family likes to go to Chinatown to see the street decorations as well as to buy any house decorations. There are many traditional decorations such as couplets and lanterns. Since this is the year of the snake as well, there are many cute and modern designs that include it, and there are also many designs that include the fortune cats to usher in prosperity and wealth. There are many stalls selling snacks such as my childhood favorite kueh baulu, almond cookies, and pineapple tarts. We eat these snacks the most during the Lunar New Year, and they are popular amongst all age groups. During the Lunar New Year, lion dance performances are also very common. Lion dance troupes are often invited to perform at homes and places of businesses. These lions are believed to bring in fortune and prosperity. This year, my family and I went to River Ong Pao, which is one of Singapore's biggest Lunar New Year celebrations. This year it was held at Gardens by the Bay, and at River Hong Pao there are many lanterns and light displays. They also had a light show set to the tune of Lunar New Year songs at the Super Trees. On Lunar New Year Eve or Chusi, our family gets together to eat reunion dinner, also known as Tuan Yuan Fan. This can also happen over lunch. We will usually have steamboat, also known as hot pot. Common ingredients include fish balls, different types of thinly sliced meats, fish maw, quail eggs, glass noodles, prawns, and lobster balls. Reunion dinner is an opportunity for us to sit down and enjoy a meal with all our family members. During Lunar New Year, younger and unmarried family members usually receive ang paos or red envelopes.
龙马精神，身体健康。好的，谢谢。说这个是给你步步高升，心想事成，龙马精神，万事如意啊。OK， 谢谢。
In Singapore, we will Lao Yu Sheng, also known as Lo Hei, during the New Year. This is a type of salad that's popular in Singapore and Malaysia. Each ingredient added has a Mandarin homophone that is related to a Lunar New Year greeting. Once it is prepared, we will toss the salad while yelling "Huat," which means prosper, and other prosperous phrases to bring in good luck for the new year.
Cucumber next. Cucumber 英文了。平雾青云，然后就是 watermelon。福如东海。
什么是福如东海？
福如东海，然后就是这是什么？福如东海了啊。
来，还有多一个，这个。
大吉大利。
这个要等上去吗？不要。OK， 好。
吃下去。来，甜甜蜜蜜，然后就是继续买房，生意兴隆。
that was absolutely amazing. Um, and I think I made a big mistake, and that was I have not eaten dinner. I did not eat dinner before seeing those videos, so now I'm immensely hungry. But I want to ask our panelists all about their videos, and so I'll ask Claudia, Sonia, Ming, and Rachel to please turn on their cameras. Maybe you already have. But I guess what I would like to do is just start with both Rachel and Sonia. Tell me a little bit more about the videos, what you decided to put in them, what you maybe left out, and what's your favorite part of the videos, and then tell me a little bit more about what your favorite part about Lunar New Year is. So Rachel, maybe I'll start with you.
Yes, hi. So I chose to include festivities that are a little bit more Singaporean in my case, since I was in Singapore during this time, which I've been very fortunate to do so. Um, so like for example, the last part of my video featured what we call yu shen, which is kind of like a salad of sorts, we would say. Um, and that is quite unique to Malaysia and Singapore in particular. So that was one of my like highlights, I would say. And I mean, I couldn't feature all of my family in this video, particularly because like there are so many of them, and we had a whole day of like a few days of like visiting and festivities, which is great. Um, what was the other part of your question? Sorry.
Oh no, that sounds fine. What I wanted to add, so it's Yushun, and that's the ceremony where you make the big salad and then people
Mm.
kind of toss it in the air and things like that. That looks like a lot of fun. Is that something your family does every year?
Oh yeah, everybody does it every year, and often we do it a few times with like different like friends too. And sometimes at like business events, people will do it as well during like the Lunar New Year period. So it's very fun, I would say. Then like people would do their own variations as well. Like sometimes it's like sometimes they put salmon, sometimes they put abalone. It can be different seafood, different like variations of the salad, depending, and like it's it all depends on like what you want out from it, because it's supposed to like, like bless you with well wishes and prosperity. So
Right. Well, it looks absolutely delicious, and just that whole convivial, joyous atmosphere must add a lot to the whole experience. So it looks great. So, Sonia, tell me a little bit about your video, and I couldn't help but notice that your video also featured Cynthia. So, what was that? It seemed to me that was a recent gathering. Tell me a little bit about how that video was made and how you made decisions about what to include or not.
Well, thank you. I actually did not have anything to do with making the video. I think
Okay.
Cynthia may have included, Claudia was at this gathering as well, and I think
Mhm.
she was the documentarian, so she photographed our gathering and celebration, and we particularly wanted to get pictures of her dog Harriet, who was wearing a Chinese New Year costume. So
I noticed that was especially cute. That jumped out at me for sure, for sure. So it
yeah,
looks like Harriet really enjoyed the festivities.
absolutely. And Cynthia actually she asked if I needed some help before the party, because I sent out the menu. And so she came over a couple hours early and did an amazing job helping me. She did all the chopping and prep work, and that was like just wonderful. We had fun, and she was incredible with that as well.
Right, because it must have taken hours between the shopping, the cleaning, the preparing, and then all of that leads up to the feast itself. I mean, that's quite a production, right?
Right. It was actually a group effort, I would say. I
Hmm.
had a friend, Lee, who works at, who's a professor of law, and she brought all the barbecued items from
Okay.
Chicago.
All right.
So that saved me a bunch of hours of cooking. So that was a real treat.
Very good. Yeah, I was noticing those barbecued items as well. It looked like there was fish. Was there pork too? And
There was the fish we cooked, but
fish you cooked. Okay.
yeah, we had barbecued duck, and these were all kind of traditional Cantonese dishes, which is kind of
Okay.
my background.
Sure.
So barbecued duck, and then there was this chicken, which is poached, served with a ginger scallion sauce,
Ah.
which is really nice, and we had pork belly and also something called char siu, which is a roast pork, kind of traditional Cantonese style barbecued items.
No, it looked absolutely delicious. And maybe one other question, and then I want to get Claudia's take on the whole experience. And Rachel alluded to this a little bit in her video. Could you, Sonia, talk a little bit more about the symbolism of the food? Because I know that the food eaten at New Year carries with it certain traditions, but also wishes, that there's a certain, portentousness with respect to the food and what it signals. And I'm just wondering kind of what all of that means to you and how that was represented in the food that you ate during your feast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Rachel did a great job talking about the symbolism of the food. So we had for the duck and the chicken, we made sure to include the head and tail in the presentation, which symbolizes wholeness. So that's an important piece. And then also, I don't know if you saw, but we had this noodle dish. That Cynthia did like all the chopping for. It was a vegetarian noodle dish, but that long noodles are supposed to symbolize long life. And the fish is a symbol of prosperity. We typically prefer to have fish with a head and a tail, and a whole fish. However, in Iowa, it's not so easy to get a fish like that. So we had a side of salmon fillet, which turned out delicious. Um, so fish, pork, you're supposed to have in Cantonese tradition kind of a different type of meat, so multiple different types of meat. So the pork, the chicken, the duck, and so on. Um, yeah, so that's about all I can think of right now
Oh
about the
no,
different symbolism.
that's terrific. And maybe it's not in Cantonese culture. I think, but maybe Rachel had alluded to it. I think, don't oranges represent the sweet life? Um, that's part of the meaning, or why oranges are consumed, at least in some Lunar New Year celebrations.
Well, in particular, the mandarin orange, which in Cantonese is gum, which sounds the same as gold. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
No, that's fascinating. Okay, very good.
yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you, Rachel and Sonia. So, Claudia, since you were at this feast and you were the documentarian, tell us a little bit about how you perceived that day and how you experienced it, and then maybe tell us a little bit more about your previous experience with Lunar New Year.
Mm. Well, first I want to say that Sonia is a masterful cook. So it was even more amazing to be there in person. Um, So, recently this year, I've been honored to celebrate the Lunar New Year with family afar who are in Asia right now, and here in Iowa City with, dear friends, Cynthia and Sonia and Sonia's family. And honestly, this is my first experience of celebrating the Lunar New Year. And you know, in a very strong sense, I've known Sonia for so many years that this is the first time that I experienced this with Sonia. I feel like I've sort of woken up to a huge part of my friend's life that, previously I really wasn't, knowledgeable about or really cognizant of. And so I'm just really honored to be part of the celebration this year with this sort of new lens and new awareness of what Lunar New Year even celebrates. And so I have had the opportunity to welcome the Year of the Snake with hopes of renewal and, of course, some prosperity would be nice over the course of the year. And it's I think that sense of renewals is very important right now.
For sure.
Yeah. So Harriet was wearing her coat, her Chinese New Year coat, her Lunar New Year's coat, which we purchased for her just a few weeks ago in Hong Kong in a market. And we were very determined that she should wear it this year and show it off. So Harriet made a bit of an appearance. But generally, I feel like this is brand new for me. And I was just really honored to be part of it.
Well, that's wonderful. So I have to ask, how did Harriet react to wearing the Lunar New Year coat?
No, she was resigned. You have to put her
Okay.
little arms through the holes and she'll practically do anything for me, so it wasn't too bad.
All right. Very good. Could I ask a little bit about your Lunar New Year experience in Hong Kong with your family?
Yeah, so it wasn't Lunar New Year yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was coming up. So there was a lot of conversation about it. And you could see that there were some things that were preparatory when we were in Hong Kong and Vietnam. So so there was conversation, quite a bit of conversation about it. And of course, I sent all those photos to my family in Hong Kong, so they would be jealous.
Indeed. Indeed.
But
Well,
I did get photographs from them of their family celebration. And there's a couple, and one of the couple is from Singapore. And they
okay.
went back to Singapore for Lunar New Year.
No, that's wonderful. Well, I'm sure that I'm sure that they were jealous of your celebration here,
Yeah.
but that they had a pretty fine celebration themselves in Hong Kong. So that's that's terrific.
Yeah. And one more thing. So what was really nice is Sonia was in Hong Kong recently and spent some time with the family. And so there's just this night, it's just sort of has progressed really nicely. It warms my heart to have been part of it.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for sharing that, Claudia. And then Ming, tell us a little bit about your experience with Lunar New Year. How did you celebrate this year? And how have you celebrated in the past? And what do you find most memorable about Lunar New Year?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is me. I really like your question. So for this year, I kind of did some like Zoom chat with my family members and then kind of like send them some texts about like what's my wishes for them in the new year, and also like saw the picture of the feast they created. So that's really nice. Some memorable tradition I had before is like so Lunar New Year in my hometown, like people like especially if you're in a big families, like all your relatives wants to share the fruit of their labors of the year to you. So sometimes during the 15 days, within the 15 days of the new year, they will pick a day and like buy everyone food, like buy everyone a good meal in the restaurant so that they can
Yeah.
share what they have earned in the year, which is really nice. And during the new year, we'll also visit friends as well. So sometimes it's also good to see your friends during the new year and give them the wishes too. Uh, I think my favorite part is like getting new clothes and just use the new year to rest and reset for a new beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So were you able to relax a little bit this year because you know, with all of the busyness, the travel, the activities, and you've got, you know, your regular life. I mean, was it possible to just kind of breathe a little bit uh during the Lunar New Year this year?
Yeah, I did celebrate it with my friends. So, but you know, the New Year is during the work days. So me and
For
Cynthia
sure.
did work at that week. But during the like break time, we did have a celebration for that. Like, yeah, it was my friend.
V- Very good.
Mhm.
So I want to, because I really enjoy symbolism and kind
Uh-huh.
of understanding kind of what all of these things mean. Let me ask you, Ming,
Uh-huh.
what is your sign of the Chinese zodiac? What year were you born in, and do you share those characteristics? I mean, I'm the ox.
Uh-huh.
Um, and oxes are supposed to be intelligent, disciplined, and reliable. And
Uh-huh.
I guess I'm those things. So I think I was, you know, I either adopted those traits or maybe just
Mhm.
inherited them. Our daughter's a dragon, and we had heard that dragon was the best, and so my wife and I were very happy when we found out that our daughter was going to be born in the year of the dragon. And my wife is a tiger,
Yeah.
um, and she has some of those traits. But what is your sign, and do you exhibit those qualities?
My sign is actually tiger, but
Tiger.
I was
Okay.
born in the year of rabbit, so it
Oh,
was before the rabbit New Year. So I'm still considered as tiger, but like tiger tail, like my mom usually say it as
oh, a
tiger
tiger
tail.
tail. Okay, I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
So in this case, I feel like, you know, I don't know exactly what it does it symbolize, but people say like the people who are born in the year of tiger are more brave, are more
Mhm.
willing to take risk. So I think I do see that on me sometimes. Um, but I feel like yeah, it is definitely I can see like some of the prediction are accurate. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And so I'll ask all the panelists that question. Rachel, what year were you born in, and do you exhibit those traits?
Yeah, I was also born in the year of dragon actually. So I think the common traits that are talked about for the people that are born in the year of dragon are like independence and like vibrancy in nature and energetic passion, sense of justice. And I feel like I probably like relate the most to independence, I would say.
That's great. That's great. And Sonia, how about you?
I'm an ox, just like you.
All right. That's great.
And my
Oxes are the
son is a
best.
snake. My
Your son
son's a
is
snake, so this is
okay.
his year.
His year. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you exhibit ox-like traits, and does your son exhibit snake-like qualities?
Yeah, according to your descriptions, yes, I think that we do.
Okay.
So yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I think every year is good in its own way. Although I have to wonder, is it really good to be born in the year of the rat and to be a rat, or maybe that's just a different sort of cultural perception, at least because I mean it would not be I don't know if because just the sort of the common association with rats isn't always good. Maybe it is in Eastern cultures, but that's just a general question I have. Is it okay to be born in the year of the rat?
I would imagine so. I think the rat is supposed to be very intelligent,
Yes,
Okay.
that's
as I
what I heard
recall.
too. Like for the rat, you are gonna be really intelligent, really smart.
Okay. Very
when
good.
you
Very good.
you think about like the story of like how the zodiacs came about, the order, at least the rat is the first in the race. So I'd say
Oh,
it's a
so
good.
so the rat is kind of like at the head of everything then. This is sort of that's part of the origin story then. I get it. Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, then I have learned something, and so I'm delighted to be educated. And Claudia, how about you? What is your sign?
I'm an ox.
Okay. We
I
have
found
yeah.
I found out when I was in Asia, and I was like, an ox. I wanted to be a snake or a dragon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm looking at characteristics. So I think I'm hardworking and methodical. I think I'm reliable. I think I'm supportive of others. It says conservative. I don't think I'm conservative, but I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm an ox.
Okay.
I may
Yeah.
want to be a little more like a tiger, but I think I'm an ox.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, I so we have three oxes here. I mean, there's Sonia, you, me. I think it's a good year. I think, I'm proud to call myself an ox and to be in your company.
I feel the same way.
Very good. And Cynthia, I know we have to transition, but I have to ask you, what is your year? What is your sign?
Rabbit. And so when I was studying in England, sometimes they would serve rabbit for lunch, and then I wouldn't be able to eat the thing.
That's great. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I guess a lot of those zodiac signs. I mean, yeah, you could eat rabbit. You could eat what else? Goat maybe or sheep. Um, yeah, but the others aren't edible. But I can see where that would um, be psychologically traumatic, right?
Yes, very.
If that's your year.
Yeah.
Very good. And so with that, Cynthia, I'll allow you, or I will ask you to introduce the third segment.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Russ, and thank you, Sonia and Claudia, Rachel, Mingdong, and the best dressed dog, Harriet, for sharing with us what Lunar New Year means to all of you. And so now we will move on to segment 3 of our program with a splendid montage of greetings in various languages from students in the Japanese, Chinese, and Korean language programs.
Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu.
Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu.
Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu.
I enjoyed getting money from my parents and my grandma on New Year's.
I enjoyed every year my mom made onabe, like a big hot pot for us. And usually we eat like noodles for a long life.
I enjoyed the mochi pounding. Every year we did a mochi pounding party, and we got our share of mochi at the end. That was really fun.
你好，祝你新年快乐。
Okay, in the next segment of our program, we present cooking demonstrations and practices which are laden with symbolic meanings of Singaporeans, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese traditions to usher in the new year. And following the screening of these demonstrations will then be a live discussion about dumpling making with Li Laoshi, who's the visiting instructor at the Department of Asian and Slavic Languages and Literatures, and his students Cici Kelly Harvey and Dylan science. Yeah.
Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. I'm Yumiko Nishi from the Japanese program at the University of Iowa. I'd like to show you today how my family and people in Japan celebrate the New Year.
안녕하세요. Hello everyone, I'm Park Jung-ah, and I'm teaching Korean at the Department of Asian and Slavic Languages and Literatures. Today, I'm going to show you how to cook tteokguk. It is a Korean tradition to eat tteokguk on Lunar New Year's Day. Eating tteokguk is believed to grant people good luck for the year and gain a year of age. The main ingredients of tteokguk are rice cake, beef for the broth, green onion, chopped garlic, soy sauce, salt, and pepper. First, you need to prepare the broth. Today I made this beef broth with shank with bone. I boiled this for about an hour. You can use any other broth depending on your preference, but beef broth is the most popular for tteokguk. You also need to prepare tteok. You can buy this type of tteok at any Korean market. The rice cake you can buy at the market is a little tough, So you need to soak them in water for at least 30 minutes so that the dough can be softened. While rice cake is softening, let me prepare the meat. I'm going to pull the meat into small pieces and season it. This meat is about 100 grams, and I'm going to put half tablespoon of soy sauce, half tablespoon of chopped garlic, and pinch of ground pepper. So I said about tablespoon and tablespoon garlic and a pinch of ground pepper. And that's it. Mix it and set aside the seasoned beef for later. Now the broth has started boiling. It is time to put the rice cake into broth. After boiling for about 4 or 5 minutes, check the rice cakes. It looks like the rice cakes are now soft. Now you can finish up the boiling by putting the seasoned beef and chopped green onion and salt and pepper. But before you put in salt, please taste it first. We need salt and pepper. Now, as you can see, the tteokguk is ready. Most Koreans eat tteokguk with kimchi. Kimchi makes the tteokguk more flavorful. I hope everyone have a chance to make tteokguk at home. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Na Li. You can also call me Nina. I am a Chinese instructor at the University of Iowa. I am also the president of Iowa City Area Chinese Association. The dish I am going to introduce today is rice dumpling. Now, here is 1 cup of rice flour. And here is our bowl. I put in the rice flour in the bowl. And then we need warm water. So you use 1 cup of rice flour and half cup of water for this type of rice flour. Knead is the same with kneading flours. And then I feel it's almost okay because it's a little sticky to the gloves and not too sticky, and it's easy to shape, you see. Take small one out. Round it in the in the palm of your hands. Make it like a bowl. Now here comes my favorite part. Put your thumb to pick a hole here in the middle. See? Here's how it looks like. Then you need to put stuffing in it. We cut the stuffing into cubes. So I take out the cube. And same thing, you need to round it. The stuffing, you put the stuffing into the bowl. And then close it. Okay, now we finished 4 dumplings. We are going to put the pot with water and to have it boiled. And after it's been boiled, we'll put the dumpling in. Don't put dumpling in before the water is boiled. You can see the dumplings rising to the top, become bigger. That means it's ready. Here are the 4 dumplings on the first morning of the new year, and we will use the porcelain spoon because it's your musical accompanist while you eat.
Hi. Today, what day is it today?
春节.
Lunar New Year, and today we are gathered together to make dumplings. So why do we eat dumplings for Chinese New Year?
So dumplings are traditional food for New Year's in China, and they're typically eaten in the northern part of China. Okay. 饺子是中国春节的传统美食，尤其在中国北部特别受欢迎。
那this is 饺子. And then what does this look like?
It looks like the money used in ancient times, and so it's supposed to represent bringing good fortune in the new year. So, 饺子的形象看起来古代的金元饰，所以那代表新年带来亨通。
财运亨通。那we are also very particular about the stuffing. That today what are we using? We are using eggs, shrimp, and 韭菜. So why are we using 韭菜 for the stuffing?
So we're using 韭菜, which is chives, and 韭 and 韭菜. It sounds like the Chinese word 久, which means like long time, everlasting, and that's kind of signifying just like a long and peaceful and fortunate this life. Okay, 所以我们的食材是鸡蛋、韭菜和虾仁 and 韭菜 the chives 的意思是久就是长久的好运。
Yes, and then for Chinese people, making and eating dumplings are not only about food. So what else is about?
Making dumplings is also about bringing good fortune and bringing the family together. 做饺子也可能菜园家庭还有带来好运。
带来好运。Yes, and then for making dumplings, there are 2 very important steps. And one, the first step is like what Dilong is making and what Yanjun is making the wrap, 饺子皮. This is perfect. This is yes. That's halfway down, and then yes, and then the second part is the stuffing. They are also very good at making dumplings now. Do you wanna? Yeah, like what Xixi is doing, and then do you two wanna also show how to make it to wrap the dumplings?
Sure.
Yeah,
Excellent, MJ's is
better
than mine.
Okay. So we start off with these little pieces of dough, and at first you roll it so that it gets slightly wider, but then after you make the dough wider, you start to roll the edges so that they become thinner, and it's easier to stick them together when you are making the 饺子, when you 包饺子.
对， So they are still making the dough. This one that is already done. So this is the wrap that Yanjun made, and then so you just take a piece of the wrap, and then you put a little bit the stuffing, not too much, but also not too less, in the middle of the wrap, and then you pinch the side together. You pinch the middle first, and then the rest. It's very important to pinch them really tight, so when you boil it, they don't come apart. Who also want to show?
西西，西西过来，可以。This is my first time making it myself, so.
Are you having fun?
Yes, it's very fun. It's very fun, but you know, it's definitely not going to be anything spectacular. 所以这是我第一次包饺子，所以我只想说，可能我包的比较丑，所以
It's okay. The taste will be the same.
对，但真的很开心的，对，很好玩。
These two, they said they enjoy making the rolling the wrap. That's why teamwork. They are making the dough and then the wraps, and then we are making the dumplings. Like the wrap, the dumplings.
Thank you. Could I invite Li Laoshi and Shishi and Dylan to be on screen with me? Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. I don't see Li Laoshi. Is Li Laoshi?
我在这儿呢. I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, good. Right. Well, that was a wonderful snapshot of all of you, making dumplings. And I'd just like to have a sort of short chat with the three of you, and perhaps I could begin with Li Laoshi. From the videos that we have seen, so far in this webinar, there are some who celebrate the Lunar New Year with a reunion dinner, with a hot pot or a steamboat, as in like in Singapore among, some people. And then there are also others who celebrate it with dumplings, like the dumplings that you were making. And you did mention in the video clip that, dumplings is something associated with the Chinese in the North. And I was wondering if you could, enlighten us a little bit about these variations.
Of course. Actually, first I want to say I actually learned a lot from Rachel's and Sonia's videos to say, because I know there's a difference in the food when in different areas of China, but when I see the video from the people around, then it just feel like more real. Like so because I'm from north of China, when we celebrate New Year, we eat dumplings. And so the food we choose to eat for celebrating Chinese New Year usually is for because their name or the appearance are very auspicious, kind of have very good symbolization, like what the people from in the other videos mentioned. So, and also due to the geographical differences in China, so people from the north, their staple food usually are wheat-based, while for the people in the south, their staple foods are usually rice-based. So that's why in the in the north, we eat dumplings for Chinese New Year, but for the people in the south, they primarily eat rice cakes or rice dumplings, like Lina is made in the video. So I noticed there are also other variations, like some people would eat hot pot. I think that could be a good idea. I might try it some other time. But I think the bigger difference or the major difference is people in the north eat dumplings and the people in the south eat rice cakes. Well, rice cakes in Chinese is niangao. consisting two Chinese characters. Nian means year. Gao sounds like Gao as high, so kind of symbolize the hope for continued success and growth in the coming new year. Yeah.
Wow. Well, whether north or south, everything looks very delicious.
Yes.
I mind having a bit of everything.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for enlightening us. And Sissy, could I start with you by asking you, you said that this was the first time you were making dumplings, and I was wondering, will you be making it on your own again, after this? And what was your experience like making dumplings for the first time?
I would definitely say that making dumplings was a fun little occasion, especially it was during class time. So I would, making food, eating it after. I think I would much rather do that than reading sometimes, So it was a nice little break. And yeah, I would definitely love to make it. I would definitely need like some more people around me because it was not looking the prettiest. So if they could help me out a little bit, but I would definitely love to make dumplings again.
Okay, that's wonderful. And you spoke you had a wonderful command, of the Chinese language in that video clip. And I was wondering, what instilled you or what inspired you to learn the Chinese language?
So originally I'm from Oakland, California, and the preschool and elementary school that I went to was actually in Chinatown. So from like a young age, I was actually just around a lot of like Chinese people and like the culture. And so I didn't actually like formally start learning Chinese until like freshman year here. So I've already completed my 4 years. So yeah, that's where I kind of started in just from like a young age and just all the people that I met during that time.
Well, thank you very much. And Dylan, can I move on to you to ask you what was your experience making dumplings? It looked like a real fun class that was going on there.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was a little unexpected. I thought it was going to be a little more. I mean, it was educational, of course, but I was happy that we were just cooking. I love to cook. And making dumplings is fun. And they ended up turning out really well. I ate a lot that day.
And next question is, what happened to all the dumplings that you all made on that day?
Oh, I ate most of them right there, or we ate most of them right there. I took some without boiling them. I took some of them home and boiled them myself, but I assure you, they all worked.
Oh, that sounds real fun. And you two spoke a wonderful. You two had a wonderful command of the Chinese language, and I was wondering, what inspired you to learn the Chinese language?
I would say it was a little random, my choice to study Chinese. In 8th grade, I was able to take a language at my high school, and my first choice was actually Spanish, but it was since I was in 8th grade, all the high schoolers got to choose first, and Spanish was full, and I said, okay, I might as well take Chinese. It seems fun, it seems cool, and I ended up falling in love with it. I loved learning Chinese and the culture. Yeah, and I think everyone should have a little bit more education on Chinese language and culture. I think it's just so interesting to me, and yeah, I just carried it through college.
Oh, it's wonderful. And so if I could ask Li Laoshi perhaps the last question, which is that, there are some who are tuning into this webinar who, apart from wanting to learn how to make dumplings during the Chinese, classes, could you tell us a little bit, about the Chinese program, apart from learning languages, what else do you all do about learning, the culture of Chinese culture? Could you tell us something about that?
Oh, yes. So if you want to learn wrapping dumplings, definitely come to our Chinese program. So the Chinese program at UI is not only about language proficiency. We also have offer a diverse cultural courses, so the students can have a very cultural immersion through like literature, dance, and philosophy and history. So whether the students are interested in traditional arts, modern pop culture, or linguistic studies, the program offers diverse opportunities for the students to explore China beyond its language. So yeah.
Thank you so much. So I would like to invite everyone who has been on this webinar to come on and, if you can sort of, show yourselves, that would be wonderful. And what I'd like to do is to ask everyone to raise a glass with me to not only thank the audience, but also to toast to a wonderful, happy, and healthy Year of the Snake. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for this evening. Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. Well, please let me just thank everyone for attending. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, audience. This was a wonderful experience. We have held the New Year celebration for several years. We couldn't last year for a variety of reasons, so I'm glad we were able to get together here during the Year of the Snake. It was a lot of fun, and we will do it again next year.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night.